In today's video, we're going to be creating the candidate journey and employer journey slides for our job agency template in PowerPoint. This is part of a series where I create a complete PowerPoint template. So if you want to see the other videos in this series to create the other pages or the other slides in this template, you can go ahead and check the description box below. All right, let's get started. We're going to start with a blank slide. So come over to new slide and insert a new blank slide. Next is going to be text box. Go over to insert text box and I'm going to grab my text from my notes. This text is going to be in the description box below. I'm just going to paste, select the entire text box. We're going to change the font to Montserrat and size is going to be 44. I'm going to change the alignment of the text to center. I'm going to increase the width of this and then I'm going to align it to the center of my slide. Next up is going to be a line. So go over to shapes, line, and I'm going to hold shift down and I'm going to create a line. I'm going to change the color of this line by going over to shape outline and I'm going to use this blue color. The details for this color is going to be in the description box below. I labeled it dark blue. If this isn't your first time working on this template, you probably have already seen it. I'm going to change the weight, go over to shape outline, weight, and I'm going to make it 2.2 1/4 points. And I'm going to change the width. It's supposed to be 26 cm. So the width is going to be 26 cm. And I'm going to go over to align and I'm going to align center. Let me see, maybe I'll just move this line down a little bit. I may still have to move it, but let's work on our slide. Next up is going to be another shape. I'm going to go over to insert shapes and I'm going to, over at basic shapes, I'm going to insert a teardrop and I'm going to insert it. Next up, I'm going to change the dimensions to 2 cm by 2 cm and the fill is going to be that dark blue color and the outline, we're going to remove the outline and make it no outline. Hold shift down and then rotate it till that point is pointing to the pointing downward. Now I want to extend this teardrop, but I want it to have a specific length. So what I'm going to do is use a rectangle as a guide. I'm going to go over to, let me use the home tab this time, go to shapes and I'm going to insert a rectangle like this. Now I'm going to change the height of this rectangle to 3.25. I'm going to align it to the top of this teardrop and then I can extend the teardrop to the height of this rectangle. So it may not be perfect, but let me see. I wanted to sort of demonstrate. It may not be perfect, but I want it to be as close to the width height of 3.25 as possible. Now I'm just going to select this rectangle and delete it. To serve this purpose, I'm going to bring this first teardrop here. Next up is a text box. I'm going to go over to insert text box and over this teardrop I'm going to just type out 01. Select the entire text box. Let's change the font to Montserrat. Size is going to be 24. And I'm going to change the alignment of text to center. Color of the text is going to be white. And I'm going to just place it in the middle. Let me reduce the width of this just a little bit so it will fit. And I'm going to place it here. I can select this and then group. Now I'll create 4 copies. I want a total of 5. So I'll create 1, 2, 3, 4. I still have to move this so it's at right at the end of that. How do I explain it? The line, and I'm going to select all of this, arrange, align, and I'm going to distribute horizontal spacing. Now I'm going to select these two and bring it down. I'm holding shift while I do this so that I don't change the alignment. Now I'm going to go over to shape format. I'm going to rotate it. Let me see which one will work. So flip vertical is going to work. We're going to modify the text. I'm just going to move it. So I have this. So now our text is upside down. I can either rotate it or just insert a new text box. But you know what? Let's rotate the text. Come over here. I'm holding shift so that I can rotate it. So now I have my text. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's now add some text in between them. I'm going to go over to insert text box. Let me grab my text. I'm going to copy the content for number 1 and I'm just going to paste it. I want them to all be the same width. So whatever width of this text box I have, I'm going to use it across all of them. So what I'm going to do is go over to shape format and I'm going to increase the width of this text box to 6 cm. I'm going to let me change the font and alignment, but I won't change any of the size. I'll change some properties, leave it like that. When we add our text for other sections, then we can come back and modify it. I'm going to modify this text for now. Let's see. Font Aptos body, we're not going to change that. Let's leave the size at 18, but we will change the alignment of text to center. Let's leave the size as it is for now. For the ones that are on the bottom here, I'm just going to give it a little bit of space away from this one. And then for the other ones, I'm not going to do that now because we still have to add our text. These ones that are at the top are going to either touch the line or be very close to the line. So I'm just going to hold Control and Shift to create another copy of this. For this one, Control Shift, create a copy here. I'm having problem aligning. I'll come back to it and then I'll create another one here. I think these ones are fine. They're actually aligned. Okay, it's actually fine. All right, now let's modify. Let's add our text before we finish making the final adjustments and modifications. I'm going to copy this, paste. I'm going to copy number 3. I know I haven't changed the numbers yet, but we'll get to that in a moment. I'm going to copy number 4. I'm going to paste, and then number 5. Okay, now let's start with this one. I'm going to select this. The font is going to stay the same. I'm going to change the size to 24, make it bold, and I'm going to add a space between two of them. You know what it's doing is adding the space based on this size, but I would prefer if it was smaller. So I'll just reduce the size first. This is much better. I don't know if you understand what I did. The line spacing may be affected by the size of the text. I just didn't want that. 24, bold. For the heading, this one I'm probably going to have to move it. I'm going to add a space, make the size 24, make it bold. I'm going to bring it so that it's touching the line. Next up is this one. I'm going to add a line, select this, change the size to 24, make the text bold. No need to change anything here. I'm going to add a space, select it, make the size 24 and bold. This one I'll have to move it to the top. Finally, we have this one. I'm going to change the size to 24, make it bold. Oh, I should have done that first. Let me do this first. Select this 24 and bold. Now let's change the content of this text. This is 2, 3, 4, and number 5. We're almost done with this. I just want to add a bit some details because it feels a bit, like say, boring just having the entire thing plain like that. But before I do that, I'm going to select all of this just to make sure. I'm going to group it, go over to arrange, align, and I'm going to align center. So you just move just a little bit to the left. I just want to make sure. And now I'm going to right click and ungroup it because we are going to animate them individually. This looks good. Now let's just add just a little detail to our slide. I'm going to add a rectangle, change the fill. This one I'm going to change to the dark blue, remove the outline. And I'm going to bring it here. And next I'm going to create a copy of it. This one I'm going to change the color. I'm going to expand this shape fill. And I want to use a color we haven't used yet, which is this light blue. I'm going to copy it. Let me come back to fill, more fill colors. And now I can paste this light blue. Details for both colors is going to be in the description box below. And I'm going to have this. I'm going to change the dimensions of this smaller one, this dark blue one, to 4.5 by 4.5, and this one is going to be 6 by 6. Okay, so we have two of this. I want to create another copy, one here and one here. I want this one to be on top, so I'm just going to grab a selection pane and I'm just going to bring it to the top. No, not that one, this one. I want it to be on top of this other one. There's no specifics for how they go, but I'm just going to do it. I'm not holding shift, so I'm just going to rotate this, place it here. Same with this one, I'll just rotate it. Let me just rotate it and place it here. Maybe I should have just held shift so that they'll have the same rotation. And I'll just place this, let me see, off to the side like this. I'm going to trim the excess. This one, we're going to just under this number 4, I'm going to rotate it. Let me say, let it point upward like this. I'm going to select this one and I'm going to place it. Let me bring it down and bring this one closer. All right, so we have something like this. I think what I'm going to do is select all of this and just bring it down a little bit. I'm just going to move it down just a little bit, not too much. All right, we're done with this one. We're going to trim this excess, but before we do that, let's duplicate this because this is just exactly the same thing we're going to use for the employer journey. So I'm going to select the slide here, Control D to duplicate. Select slide 7 again, go over to Insert, Shapes, and I'm going to insert a rectangle and just draw one here. Doesn't really matter about the size, we just need it to trim this one. So I'm going to place one here and then I'm going to duplicate it. We're going to need 2 for the 2 rectangles. I'm going to grab a copy, bring it here, going to place it over here, duplicate, place another one here. Select this rectangle first, one of these two. Go over to the merge options, subtract, select this rectangle, this one, the merge options, subtract. Select this one of these rectangles, the merge options, subtract. Select this and this, subtract. Let's now come over to this one. I'm going to go over to insert a rectangle, and I'm just going to draw one here. I'm going to bring this over here. We're going to need to Control D to duplicate and select any of them, and this one. Always select the one you want to, the object you want to subtract from. Select the object first. So since I select this one first, it's going to subtract this from it. So I'm going to subtract this to subtract. All right, that should do. We are done with the candidate journey. Let's now go to the employer journey. So we're going to modify this to get our second slide. I'm going to go over to my notes, and I'm going to grab the content for this one, which is employer journey. Copy the heading or the title. I'm going to paste it. Next up is the content. So for number one, we have this one, copy. And what I'm going to do, I like to remove that first because it's going to affect how it's going to paste. So if you paste it like that, it's all going to be bold. I would much rather have it regular before making it bold afterward. Let's paste in our text before we come back to modify it. Oops. I'm going to remove this one first, select everything, paste, go to the next one, select the text, copy. Oops. Going to select this top section, select everything, then paste. I'm going to copy this, then paste. And then for number 5, I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to select all of this and then paste. Let's come over to this one. I'm going to select, create out a space first, make the size 24 of this top section, consultation, and then make it bold. I'm going to select this, add a space, select this top section. I'm going to change the size to 24 and make it bold. I'm going to move it so it's on the line. Come over to this one, add a space, select shortlisting, make the size 24, and we're going to make it bold. Put a space between interview coordination and the other text. Select this, change the size to 24, make it bold. I just need to move it just a little bit. All right. And finally, onboarding, select onboarding, make the size 24 and the text bold. Now, just to make it even just a little bit different from the other one, we're going to move these rectangles. What I'm going to do is select these two, and I'm going to bring them to the top here. I'm just going to rotate it a little bit. I wanted to move just this one, and I'm going to bring it here like this. I'm going to grab this one, maybe rotate it just a bit like this, and I'm going to place it around here. And this one, just bring it in a little bit. All right, that's what it is. Now let's trim the excess. I'm going to go over to shapes and I'm going to insert a rectangle. I'll place one here. One is going to come over to this side. Doesn't need to be that long. I'll just increase the height. Bring one here. Maybe I want to move this. All right. I'm going to place, just move it. Duplicate using Control D. Place it over that one. I'm going to reduce the size of this. Okay. I'm going to place one here. Control D to duplicate. Add another one. Let's just work on this ones first. Select this dark blue rectangle and then this one. Under the merge options, subtract this one, then this one, subtract. Same with this. Under shape format, subtract. Oh, okay. This and this, I'm going to subtract. This, subtract. Oops. Let me see. Did I make a mistake? Oh, I have two instead of, I didn't need two. So, all right, I'll just use this one. I'll bring it down here. I just need one more. I'm going to just extend it. This and this, subtract. All right, we are done for the candidate journey and timeline journey and employer journey. These are basically for intents and purposes a timeline slide. Let's now apply our animations to this slide. Let's go over to the animations tab. We'll start with this one. We're going to use the float in. As you can see throughout this template, we are constantly using the float in animation. I'm going to use float in. However, we're going to set the effect to float down, and the start is going to be with previous. Select this text. It's going to float in. We're going to leave it as it is, but this time it's going to be after previous. Next is going to be this one. It's going to float in. We'll leave it as it is. It's going to be after previous. Next is going to be this one. It's going to float in. However, under effects, it's going to float down. Start is going to be after previous. Next is going to be this float in. Under effects, float down. And start is going to be after previous. Then the associated text, it's going to float in, leave the direction as it is. Start is going to be after previous. Next up is this text. Oh no, well, I'm doing the markers, I'm calling them markers, but the teardrop shape first before the text, regardless of direction. Float in, leave the direction as it is. Start is going to be after previous, and then we're going to select this one. Float in, under effect, select float down. Start after previous. Next is number 5. Select this, float in. Under effect, it's going to float down, and then the text. Oh, I haven't set the start after previous. Then text is going to float in. Direction is okay, and we're going to make this after previous. Now we're going to apply the same thing to this one. You can try it yourself if you want to, but let's just go ahead and apply it, the animations to this. I'm going to select number 1, float in. Effect is going to float down. Start is going to be with previous. Select the text, and it's going to float in. Direction, we're going to leave it like that. Start is going to be after previous. Next is going to be this one. Animation is float in. Effect, oh no, wrong. It should be the teardrop first. Float in. Direction stays the same. start is after previous. Then we have the text float in, effect is going to float down, start is going to be after previous. Next is number 3, float in, effect is going to float down. Then I'm going to, I haven't set the start, select the text, float in, that's fine. Start is going to be after previous. Select number 4, the entire thing, float in, leave the direction, start is going to be after previous. Next is this text, float in, we're just going to change the effect so it floats down. And then finally, I still haven't, sorry about that, I'm getting a bit carried away. Select float in, the effect is going to be float down, start is going to be after previous, and we have the final one, float in, direction remains the same and it's going to be after previous. And now let's go over to transitions. We're going to add the fade transition here. We're going to increase the duration to 2 seconds. And for this one also, we're going to add a fade transition. Duration is going to be 2 seconds. All right, I've applied all my animations and transitions for these 2 slides. Let's go ahead and see what it looks like in the slideshow. I'm going to click here, and now we're going to have, I can already see that something is wrong because this shouldn't be there yet. Let me go to the animations. It happens. All right, it would seem I didn't add the animation. Hopefully you didn't make the same mistake I made. It happens. That's all right. After previous. All right, let's try this again from the top. I'm going to start, and we should have our animations coming. So the markers come in first and then the text. If you want to, you can practice maybe making them come at the same time, come into the frame at the same time. All you need to do is just mess around with the delay. And I'm going to move on to the next slide, and we have the same line, and then we have our markers coming. And yeah, that's it for these 2 slides. I'll always encourage you to make modifications to this if you want to use a different shape of marker, since this um, template is some sort of taking similar to markers we had in the table of contents, where they're just diamond shapes or something like that. You can use different shapes or sizes or things like that. But anyway, that is it for this particular one. If you want to watch other parts of this series to create the other slides for this template, you can either check out the description box below for the links to the course playlist or other videos, or you could click on the playlist on screen right now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.